bit after 10, so let's get it started. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you. Remember our troops that are serving out there on a daily basis, protecting our country, so we can be here today and have the right to vote and to run a country. So again, their sacrifice is well appreciated. Thank you. First item on the agenda officially here is to consider the minutes for the April 3rd, 2014 and the April 10th, 2014 meetings.
Read both sets of minutes. I'd move approval.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Next item is to consider register of claims totaling $2,888,023.75.
Would move approval of the claims.
I've also reviewed the claims, and I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nothing under old business, so we'll move on to a public hearing on the energy saving projects. And Costas, you're going to come up on this one? Sure. Just give us your name and your company, where you're from.
Sure. My name is Costas Polakidis. I'm a partner at Krieg DeVault, based out of Indianapolis, and I'm serving as bond counsel related to the project that you folks are looking to undertake in order to do certain improvements. What you have before you there's two resolutions that are before you. The first one's a confirmatory resolution, and the second one is a bond resolution. The first confirmatory, at your last meeting, you adopted a declaratory resolution, and pursuant to state statute, it requires that when you take on a project like this, that you have to essentially have, and it's more about public disclosure, you have to declare that you are looking into doing this project, and you adopted that resolution at your last meeting. Then there's a public hearing and that you're having today, and then if you so choose, the adoption of a confirmatory resolution confirming that you're moving forward with the project. Doesn't necessarily mean you're locked in, but again, it's more of a public disclosure that this is something that you've examined, you've allowed public input on it, if there is public input.
Okay, very good.
And that's what the confirmatory resolution is about.
Thank you. Mike, do we want any more definition of what this is about, this public meeting?
This is for to fund the large storm sewer projects we're doing in downtown Muncie, primarily for the ARC development and parking garage, and then also on the Martin Street project that'll tie into another new storm sewer we just put in. So this is the method we've used to finance, procure the construction contractor, and the way to finance this.
Good description. So with that said, we'll take any comments from the public who would like to come forward. If they would like to come forward, they can come up to the microphone, give their name and address. Since there's no public comment to our public meeting here, I need a motion to close the meeting.
I would move we close the public meeting.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Next item on the agenda is consider confirmatory resolution 2014-2.
Sure, and I probably already gave the background on it.
You did.
Again, this is the process, again, more of the public process that moves the project forward.
Okay, since we've already covered this, we'll just go ahead and entertain a motion.
Last meeting, we selected a provider of the construction services, Bowen Engineering, and we hope to have their guaranteed maximum price to us by the end of May that would feed the bond council on how to size the bond issue.
Very good.
They're developing that now.
Okay, so I guess we just needed to a motion to approve resolution 2014-2.
I would move so.
Second motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. We're added an item to the agenda, and this would be a resolution 2014-3. And this will be the bond resolution, okay, that is all ties together.
Sure. So now that we've gone through this process, at your last meeting, you introduced the bond resolution, and now we're looking to have it adopted. This bond resolution is a typical bond resolution for these types of projects. What it allows is spells out certain parameters of the bonds, the primary being that there's a cap of how much the bond would be to not exceed $10 million. It could be much lower than that. It also spells out parameters in terms of what the price might be, what interest rate would be provided, and other terms specific to the bond. What essentially this allows us to do is now go out and look for possible purchasers of the bonds that would provide financing for it. It might be through a negotiated sale. It might be through a direct purchase. But this resolution gives us those options, so we can now go out and kind of get a sense of what are the terms and figure out what are the best terms, get the lowest interest rate, and move forward on that. I think I should also point out that if for some reason there's a change of heart as we're going through this process, that's fine. It doesn't, just because you're adopting this resolution doesn't mean you absolutely positively now have to move the project forward. But in order to move forward, if that's fine, this is something that needs to be adopted. And again, at a later date, there'll be notices provided to potential purchase of the bonds, and we'll be able to move forward with that. And that will give them the assurances that, again, this is a decision. There's legal authority for them to consider purchasing the bonds if, in the end, that's your decision.
And not just the local banks will be.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Any questions? Anything else? Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, so with that said, and I know we've been working on this, so it's not like we're just came into this meeting and threw this on here. This is just the things we have to get done now that we've all decided to look into, and we do obviously need the sewer work done in the downtown for the hotel and other flooding problems we've had. So we'll entertain a motion for 2014-03.
I would move approval.
Second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. The next item on the agenda is an emergency project on 101 North Riley Road, and Tracy Barton, our sewer maintenance supervisor, will report on that.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Tracy Barton, Superintendent, Sewer Maintenance and Engineering.
Thank you.
This is just a brief description of what went on with this emergency. We have certain steps that we do follow. I notified the board president and the district administrator of this emergency. Got the okay to go ahead and get a contractor in there to get this fixed. This was a emergency due to lack of service at a property here in the district. It's 20-foot deep dig, included some tree and brush removal, and it had some real extensive landscaping that had to be done due to the sewer line being in an easement. So to be able to access the dig site, they had to come in through somebody's property, require a lot of landscaping. Yardberry Land Services was a contractor that done the work.
Very good. Let me just explain what real quick here again. When these emergency projects turn up and somebody's out there and their basement's flooding or their road's flooding or many horror stories out there happen, we don't wait for the next board meeting to approve these. So what we do in these situations is that, as Tracy said, he notifies the district administrator, Nikki Grisby, and myself as board president. We okay to go ahead and do it. And so it's done immediately to get that service done. And then this is a procedure that this board set up, that Tracy then would come in and just report to the board that this is what happened and this is what was done. So it's in the interest of the board's information and the information to the public of what we're doing with these emergency projects. So thank you.
Sanitary sewer backup?
Sanitary sewer, yes. Broken lateral in the easement. And for the record, that project number is 30E-14-101 North Riley.
Thank you. Any
gentlemen.
questions, Mike? No, thanks,
Thank you.
Tracy. I think that covers it very well. The next one is the item on the agenda is the interlocal agreement between the Muncie Sanitary District and the City of Muncie, and this is for mowers, not mowing. So for mowers, if you've got a copy of this, and John Barlow, our wastewater plant supervisor, will report on this.
Morning.
Morning.
John Barlow, Superintendent, Muncie Water Pollution Control Facility. Present for your approval this interlocal agreement, simply transferring ownership to two mowers originally purchased by the Water Pollution Control Facility. They were purchased a little over 2 years ago. It was found that we have some specific mowing needs, and these didn't meet those needs, but they have very few hours on them. We subsequently purchased two new mowers for our facility that do meet our needs, and we're transferring the ownership of these mowers to the City of Muncie Parks Department. And this interlocal agreement just is really a form to make sure that all the legalities are in place for the transfer for essentially no recompense.
Mike, do you have any questions with that one? As far as us,
No, we just need to keep a copy of the insurance coverage on hand in case something happens.
okay.
I assume that's also insurance, or are you just talking about insurance on the
We're actually turning,
liability insurance?
We're turning the mowers directly over to them. They're just two zero-turn riding mowers. I don't necessarily know we had any additional insurance on them or anything else
Well, I'm
like
just
that.
talking about, I think it'd probably be covered under our liability insurance, but
Actually, they will assume ownership of liability. It's $1 in considerations, so any maintenance, insurance, the park department assumes.
so basically it's just a transfer, rather than sell them at a very discounted price, to save taxpayers dollars, we're gonna let the city use those in their parks. We're already scheduled to buy two new mowers, so this will save them from having to buy two mowers.
They have very few hours on them. They'll get years of life out of them.
So we certainly want to work together with other government agencies whenever we can to save taxpayers dollars, so good thinking. Okay, do we actually need a motion on that, Mike, to do that, as far as an interagency agreement? Should we just have a motion to approve that?
yeah.
Okay,
I would move we approve the interlocal agreement for transfer of vehicle.
I'll second that motion. That'd be two mowers to the city. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Thank you, John. The time of the meeting would be for public comments. If anybody would like to comment on anything that's going on in the sanitary district, if they'll just come forward, come up to the microphone and give us your name and your address, please.
Good morning, Chris Hyatt, 1716 North Wheeling Avenue, Key Enterprises Incorporated.
Morning.
I noticed there wasn't any roll taken, so I'm assuming Mr. Evans is still on the board and absent.
Yes, he is.
Okie dokie. Can I approach the board, please?
Yes,
Thank
please do.
I'll give you Mr. Evans' copy, Mr. Smith.
Okay, thank you.
My presence here today is pretty simple. It's to serve upon the board in the Muncie Sanitary District my notice of tort claim for trespass and property damage. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll review this with our attorney, and I'm sure we'll be answering it. Thank you, Mr. Hyatt. Is there any other business to come before the board from the public? Being no further business, we will close the meeting. Our next regular scheduled meeting will be on Thursday, May 1st, 2014, at 10 o'clock in the same location. Thanks, everybody.